I've been playing WoW since November 2024, main drat since December, and already reached a Mythic Plus score of 3.3k, mostly through pugging. In this video, I'll go over talents, gear, playstyle changes, and how red stacks up against other potential meta specs for Season 2 in the War Within. I quickly want to go over the tier set for it. You can pause and read this if you want, but in simple terms, your abilities are going to give you tier set stacks, which equals to 20% damage increase to your holy power spenders, and at some point you're going to lose this buff and gain a new one, where you can spam your holy power spenders in a 4-second window without losing holy power. I'm going to get into Divine Hammer later on, but this tier set works very well with that. Next up, I want to talk about Final Reckoning versus Execution Sentence. In the last class tuning in PTR, Final Reckoning's damage did get increased, so I will say it's a bit more viable now. However, you lose way too much single target and priority damage by running Final Reckoning. And I've made this. Cinderbrew Meadery and Motherlode are like mass AoE dungeons, which is why it's fine to run Final Reckoning. You do way more damage here. In Theater of Pain and Mechagon, they have very annoying priority mobs that needs to get nuked down, so it's better to run Execution. And for the rest of the dungeons, they might have priority mobs to some degree, so you can use either or, maybe use Final Reckoning for lower keys, but you can just test it out and see what works for you. As for stats, you want to stack up as much mastery as you can, and then you can decide how you want to do with crit and haste. Just keep in mind that crit is going to give you more in AoE, haste is going to give you more in single target and boss fights, and then mastery is an overall increase. Just try and avoid versatility as much as you can, it's very useless. I personally would like to go for as much mastery and crit as I can, but I do want to have a good amount of haste so I can still perform well in boss fights. Before starting off with gear, I want to say that early on in the season you have to take higher eye level gear, because main stat is way more important. The first trinket I want to talk about is Eye of Kazan, which you can get from last boss in raid. This trinket is going to give you 474 strength up to 20 times in combat. That is almost 10k strength, and that is just better than any trinket out there. Another good trinket is the improvised C4ium pacemaker. This trinket is going to give you 3k crit every 60 seconds for 15 seconds. This ring is probably the best. It gives you a lot of mastery, but it does come from the last boss in raid and is very rare, so good luck getting it. I'm very sorry for the low quality, but this here is a delve trinket, which is super good. It's gonna increase your mastery by 4.3k for 10 seconds, and this trinket has a 60% uptime, which is crazy. So try and get this on Hero Track. Another honorable mention is gonna be this weapon called Best in Slots. I think they're gonna change the name. If you use it as a weapon on use, you can get 5.1k of your highest secondary stat for 15 seconds with a 2-minute cooldown, which is very good. Next up is Herald of the Sun versus Templar. I'm just gonna keep this very short. Templar is way better than Herald of the Sun. It's more reliable, you do way more damage, you have way more Empyrean Hammers. Even though Empyrean Hammer did get a nerf, it's still gonna be at the top of your DPS, so just stick to Templar. As for the rotation, you want to build to 5 Holy Power while your tank is setting the pull up, and then you want to use either Final Reckoning or Execution Sentence, and then you want to use Divine Hammer, which is gonna put you at 2 Holy Power, and then you press Wake of Ashes, and you're gonna be at 5 Holy Power, which means you have enough to press Hammer of Light, and after you press Hammer of Light, you're gonna be at 0, which is why you want to press Divine Toll, which is gonna give you 5 Holy Power in AoE and 2 Holy Power in single target, and this is just gonna get the Holy Power generation going, so that you can spam Divine Storm in AoE and Verdict in single target to keep those Divine Hammers spinning. So I basically build to 5 Holy Power. Once I'm at 5, I'm gonna use Final Reckoning, Divine Hammer, Wake of Ashes, Hammer of Light. Divine Toll, and now I just spam those Divine Storms. Keep building, keep spending. Unlucky no tier set proc yet. Oh, there it is. And that's pretty much it. It's gone. 30 seconds. You want to use Wake of Ashes, Hammer of Light again, so that it's back up for your next Final Reckoning and Divine Hammer. I haven't made single target specific talents. I've just switched from Final Reckoning to Execution Sentence. But here I'm just building to 5 Holy Power, and then I'll use Tempered Weapon on use, then I'll use Execution, Divine Hammer, Wake of Ashes, Hammer of Light. So it would be like Divine Toll, Judgment, keep spamming Verdict. There's the tier set proc. Final thoughts on Ret for Season 2. We have one major problem, and that is our priority damage and single target. And we'll have even less whenever we run Final Reckoning. However, a lot of the potential meta specs for Season 2 have great prio damage, which is why I think it's fine to bring an AoE blaster like Ret in those comps. Other than that, we have a great utility with our Freedom, Blessing of Protection, Divine Shield, Blinding Light, Lay on Hands, and of course our Blessing of Sacrifice, which you have to use with 1 minute cooldown, because it's gonna help out your team and healers a lot. Since Prot Pala isn't as strong as Season 1, I feel like people would bring more Red Palas because of our Devotion Aura and our utility. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. I have a Discord server where I'm gonna update weak auras and UI stuff, so join that. And I also stream on Twitch. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.